Hey everybody, I'm John Granado. You can hear me mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, and that's Josh Jordan. He's the editor of SportsMapHouston.com, and he's the host of Moneyline 10 to noon Sunday mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Big news, Josh. Big news. Justin Verlander re-ups with the Astros. All right, so awesome. I think if Verlander and McCullers were there this past season, at least in the postseason, that the Astros win the World Series. Agree?
Oh, absolutely. It was pitching. They didn't have enough starting pitching. So even though Verlander hasn't, won a World Series game, I absolutely think they would have won.
Yeah, I mean, that would have made him so much better. This one move, because you're worried about McCullers, right? You're worried about not having a Hoss at the top of the rotation, which they didn't really have. McCullers was awesome, but Verlander's in a different stratosphere. He's a Hall of Famer already. Now you move Fromber as your third starter. How good is that? And Garcia and Urquidy, whatever order, are 4 and 5. This rotation is as good as there is in baseball.
It's unbelievable, John. I would put them as favorites now. I know they were favorites in the AL even before this move. I am so excited, especially in Houston pro sports lately, to have some good news, something to be excited about. Who knows what's going to happen with Correa, but man, getting Verlander back makes all the difference in the world for me. I just hope that McCullers is good to go. And to your point, I mean, McCullers got Cy Young votes this year. I mean, he had a fantastic season. So if those guys are ready to go, I'm super impressed with this rotation. I love what they did. But it does make me wonder here, what are they going to do with Christian Javier and Jake Odorizzi? I mean, Click said a few weeks ago that Javier was going to be, moving back to the rotation. Is that going to be the case now?
Maybe somebody's rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's – although you can't have enough pitching. Javier staying in the bullpen, maybe moving Odorizzi. There's a chance that you're going to lose Graveman. There's a chance you're going to lose Yimi. So, you do need – he said bullpen help is something that we really, really need. Odorizzi is a complainer, though. He is not going to like being in the bullpen. He's going to fight back on that. But what about, since you want to keep Verlander's innings down, a 6-man rotation, which they tried some of last year?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's something that occurred to me too, because you're going to want to keep Verlander's innings down, like you said. But after this scare with McCullers, are they going to have more kid gloves with him even more so this year after what happened? So I think that's something to consider. And Click said this, you can never have enough depth at starting pitching. It can disappear in a heartbeat. We saw that in the playoffs this year. So I think you definitely have to have a 6th guy that you can trust.
Yeah. Walter Johnson is turning over in his grave. 6-man rotation. We used to pitch every other day back in my day. That's how we did it. And we threw 18 innings a day. That's how we did it back in my day. We got more to talk about. What about all the myths that were debunked by Verlander signing? But first, there's no myth here. I love Coors Light. Okay? I'm going to admit it to you. I'm going to admit it here and now. If you didn't already know, I love me some Coors Light. And you should love you some Coors Light too. It's the official beer of talking about baseball. It's the official beer watching baseball. It's the official beer watching football. It's the official beer playing poker, about playing golf. It's my official beer. Make it your official beer. Coors Light is cold, clean, crisp, and refreshing. It's the world's most refreshing beer. Climb on, brother. So, Verlander signs. Now, I put out there that the team went to Jim Crane and they didn't want Verlander to throw out the first pitch at the playoff game. And I know it happened. It happened, period. But you know what? It did not. The myth was that Verlander wouldn't re-sign with the team, because he did re-sign with the team. This is something they can all get over, right?
Oh, yeah. It's about winning, and it might have been a little overblown too. And I know a lot of people have a problem with Justin not being around the team, but I think these guys care more about winning. If Justin did what he said, he was rehabbing 6 days a week with, a trainer and a staff that he felt comfortable with in Florida, I'd rather him be getting ready to pitch than sitting in the dugout just showing people his slider grip and trying to coach the team. I'd rather him get ready to play. That's something that, Tom Brady would do. That he'd just be rehab is his total focus, and I'm okay with Justin doing that. So I think he wanted to win, man. I don't have an issue with that. So I don't think the bad blood's really there. Remember all the I literally love Verlander, I literally love Jose Altuve? I think all that's still there.
Oh, no, it is. Listen, they wanted him there. Make no mistake. He could have rehabbed and still got to the ballpark and still helped guys and still been, he could have done a hell of a lot more than he did. But you know what? Oh, well, now you're with us. You're healthy. We don't care anymore. You're back, and we are thrilled to have you, a Hall of Famer, at the top of the rotation. It ain't going to take, maybe in their first spring training meeting, he stands up and says, guys, I'm sorry I wasn't here. It's my bad. I made a mistake. Will you take me back? And they'll all go, yeah, we will. So that's going to be, I don't think there's going to be any problem there. I got into a Twitter battle with a guy this past week because of the Carlos Correa offer, and he added in, he's not going to try to re-sign Justin Verlander. They're not going to spend that money. That's a myth. Jim Crane spends money, and if you don't believe that, then you haven't been watching Astros baseball.
I love what Jim Crane has done and his ability to retain an ace like Justin Verlander, a future Hall of Famer. And we heard, it was reported that Verlander felt some loyalty to Crane because, things didn't go well. He wasn't able to pitch the last couple years. So for that relationship to help bring back Verlander, look at the rest of this town with ownership and big name players, Deshaun Watson, James Harden wanting out. No matter what ownership did, those guys still wanted to leave. Crane clearly had a role in bringing Verlander back to this club. And, man, I appreciate it. He's a great owner.
Yeah, people are questioning his commitment to winning because Springer's gone and Correa's gone. But listen, he made Jeff Luhnow go out and get Verlander. He made him give up Seth Beer or whoever he gave up that last guy because Luhnow didn't want to do those 4 players for Greinke, and he said, no, you got to do this because we want to win. He cannot, Jim Crane cannot prove any more, can he? Especially now with this, $25 million this year and then player option for another year with Verlander. I don't think he could prove any more that he's got a commitment to winning every year.
He does have a commitment to winning, and it's a smart move. He's committed to box office, too. Justin Verlander's a big-name player to have on your starting rotation. If you want to go to the game and Verlander's pitching tonight, that's an incentive to go. And I think back as an Astros fan when they just let Nolan Ryan walk, and then he went to the Rangers, threw more no-hitters, 5,000th strikeout, 300th win. Those are all big-ticket nights for those milestones. Like Verlander is 24 wins away from 250. If he pitches 2 or 3 more years here, he could get to 3,500 strikeouts. So I think it's smart by Crane to be looking ahead and be like, these are some good incentives to keep this guy around.
Well, and listen, I don't think the price is right.
Yeah.
I know he made $66 million the last 2 years, and he threw 6 innings. So he gave you a little bit of a hometown. Hey, you know what, Justin? Thank you. A little hometown discount, $25 million per year because you got $66 million for basically doing nothing. So we really appreciate. And hey, the Verlander, if he's good at $25 million a year, is going to be a bargain. That's a bargain.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of a double move. You get him and the Yankees don't get him, and the Red Sox don't get him. So,
yeah.
It's kind of like a 2-touchdown swing kind of thing in football. So I love that part of it. And I also think the other really smart part is that this will soften the blow if Carlos Correa does not return to the team. You're starting to see some of these faces from 2017 starting to leave, right? And, because you got Bregman, you got Yuli, you got Altuve. But if you lose Correa, at least you have that Justin Verlander familiar face from the 2017 team. So it just shows you that he's willing to spend money, but Correa just might have priced himself out.
Well, and you're not going to have as much hitting because I don't know who's going to replace Carlos Correa unless it's a Corey Seager or a Story, which I don't think that's going to happen. Why not just give Carlos the money if you're going to give those guys the money? You're not going to have as much hitting, but you got better pitching. So you're not going to need as much hitting. You got Justin Verlander in there, followed by McCullers, followed by Fromber. But at night in, night out, you're going to have low-scoring games now without Carlos Correa. You still got a really, really, really good lineup, and yet you've got this great pitching staff now. So, yes, it's going to soften the blow. I don't think there's any question.
It is. And, you make the point that the 4 games they lost in the World Series, they only scored a total of 4 runs, the Astros. You might have to win a World Series game 2-1 or 3-2 And who's better to help you do that than a guy like Verlander?